I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Out of my eyes! I didn't misspell anything! Not one time! What time?
Welcome back to a new Hilariocity. Today we're going to be talking about a movie called Kazaam. Here it is. I own it on physical media. I have it right here. Look. There it is. There's the disc. This exists in my possession. It's right here. Here's the disc. Look. You can see the disc. Look how clean it is. Look at that. Oh, so nice. What a gem of my collection that is in my hands right now, called Kazaam. There it is. That's the disc. Kazaam came out in the wondrous summer of 1996. It starred a young child named Francis Capra, who was in A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro. And it also starred NBA superstar Shaquille O'Neal. And it was directed by Paul M. Glaser, who you might know from Starsky and Hutch, who surprisingly has had a successful career directing. He's Emmy nominated. How did I not know that? Kazaam is a weird movie for me because in some ways it's very nostalgic for me, but in others I'm repulsed by it. And so I have this very conflicting feeling about this movie. I can watch it and certain scenes make me go, oh yeah, and others make me go, oh my god. So young Maxwell Connor has a rough life. His parents are in the middle of a divorce, and his mom is dating a new guy that he doesn't like. Kids at school chase him around and bully him, and his real dad is suddenly back in town working with some sort of music company that's sort of like a mob, I guess. That's what they are. The first 10 minutes of the movie feel mostly like a mid-90s kids movie. There's nothing too crazy happening yet. But that changes right around when he finds Shaq in a bottle.
Who dare to wake me?
Oh, he's gonna rap now.
Ain't gonna make this a mystery. Don't wanna do time on your wishes 3. Watch it, boy. You don't wanna diss me, or I'll dish out my misery. Now, who's that sorry wannabe that disturbed my Z's?
Oh, he's still rapping. This film inhabits a weird period of time where superstars in other fields were put in movies and they attempted to reach certain demographics and they tried to start new careers. And it's almost like they made feature films that were in some way commercials for what they could also do. Shaq did this a few times. Steel is absolutely an attempt at appealing more to kids. And before that, Kazaam was his attempt at saying, hey kids, I like to rap. Because the rest of this movie isn't so much about a kid finding a magical genie. It's about the fact that Shaq would really like a career rapping.
I'm the man of the ages. Straight out the pages. Hang on, I'm contagious, outrageous, spontaneous. You can't contain this. I am Kazaam.
Well, I'm really happy for you.
And if you've ever seen those trailers that are recut for movies to make the film look like a horror movie, like Home Alone, for instance, there's a pretty good one of that. This movie could easily be recut as a horror film because Shaq is the most creepy of creepers to this kid. He shows up just about everywhere he goes. He follows him around town, he gives him very strange looks, and he loves to raise his eyebrows, just like he did in Steel.
Now this puts the boom in box.
It's clear that between this film and Steel, no one really gave Shaq any advice on acting, or at least he didn't really take any of it. For the record, I actually kind of love Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, for God's sakes, he had a period in the 90s where he was everywhere. Anybody remember Shaq Fu? There's a game called Shaq Fu.
Shaquille O'Neal, a.k.a. Shaquito Bounty Hunter, enforcer of justice.
Kung Fu Shaq style. For Sega Genesis and Super NES.
But an actor, Nope. So now that this kid has a genie following him everywhere, of course, naturally, he doesn't believe this guy. He thinks, wow, this is just like a 7-foot giant basketball player who's following me, and I don't really know why, but I'm just gonna go now, leave me alone. And Shaq is trying to convince the kid that he really is a genie, so he challenges him to a bicycle race, which results in the best of the best 1996 CGI.
I'm back! Take a breath, kid, you're gonna need it for this! Woo! Don't get all hysterical. Say thank you for your miracle.
You are a genie.
What's the matter? Your tongue is broken? Time like this, you should be stoking. You know the rules. Now comply. Kazaam! He got unlimited supply!
So because of what he's just witnessed, the kid now believes this genie is totally real. He's gotta be. I mean, he just zoomed around in circles with sparks flying everywhere. The bike transformed. This is not your everyday shit. So naturally, he wishes for a mountain of junk food. And candy bars and fast food fall from the sky. And I have never seen junk food look so unappetizing in my life. But even though this movie is still basically a backdoor way for Shaq to try and introduce a rap career to kids all around the world, the film is still trying to have a plot. So we are reminded occasionally about these mobsters that run this music business, which is why when Shaq is caught jamming to music, one of them decides to intimidate him by doing this.
This isn't a toy store, unless you want to play my game.
Impressive.
Why in the world would you damage your own body just to put out a cigarette in the middle of your palm, a place that you use all the time, and it's gonna suck every time you grab a railing, it's gonna suck every time you open your car door, and other activities you do with your hand? Why would... One positive I can say about this movie is that it does at the very least attempt to show an actual domestic dispute and how it affects a child. The parents are sort of background characters. They're in there, they're important to the plot, but it's mostly focused on the young kid, Max, and how this entire situation has made his life a living hell. The attempt is there, and I applaud it. Unfortunately, it also has Shaq materializing out of a ceiling of stars and showing up in the kid's room. But even though the film is attempting to have a story, it also has a lot of scenes that feel very contractual, like Shaq showing up at a concert and suddenly rapping with the people on stage, holding up a boombox that explodes. And I already mentioned that the film has a way of appearing a lot creepier than I think they realized they were, because the kid wakes up with Shaq in his bed.
Cause I am Kazaam. I'm more than I seem. You ought to looking at your dream. In your coffee, I'm the cream.
Get off me, pervert! Ow! Get out of my bed!
And within this same scene, he takes a shower in the room in front of the kid.
Being a guy. You know, your father sure is lucky to work with Malik. Says I got a future in the biz. Is Asia gonna love me or what? Woo! Especially now. So, you and your father have a nice night too?
Nice night.
Yeah, it's creepy to me. So it's right around here the writers realized they could no longer keep this 7-foot genie away from this kid's mom because he's in his bedroom, so he decides to introduce a fake character. He's a tutor, and he just kind of shows up in their house.
So sorry. Max insisted. He's told me so much about you.
I'm sorry. Have I met you before?
No, ma'am, I haven't had the pleasure. I am Jefferson Allensworth Lamb. Jefferson for he who framed our fine Constitution, Allensworth for he who found a community of free blacks, and Lamb, because I like to eat lamb chops.
And if you thought the bicycle CGI earlier was bad, it just gets better from here.
Oh, Max?
I know that was supposed to be like a fun 1996 way for a kid to eat some French toast, but god damn it, I like to eat my food slowly. Like, that would suck. Like, what if all your food just flew into your mouth like that, and you had no control over it? Like, a genie was like, here's your French toast, whoop, and it just went in your mouth, and you couldn't even chew it or taste it or enjoy it, and you just had to fucking choke it down like that. That would suck. That would... I'm psychoanalyzing the fucking French toast. But the second most absurd scene is still coming up. Don't worry, the first is actually the ending, which we'll get to. Shaq and the kid decide to have a rap battle.
And what do you know about rapping?
I know a few things.
Yeah, right.
My name is Max, so get these facts. I'm on my heavy BMX and I make some tracks.
That's whack. That's horrible. Oh my God, that's
You
awful.
do better.
My name is Kazaam, I got the whole plan. So listen to the man, cause I'm the Sultan of Sand.
Is that it? Is that the whole deal? You wanna be a hit, you better get real.
I did have this friend in 1000 BC. We discover a bevy of bathing beauties. Her bird looks to me and I says to he, why don't we jump in that old Euphrates?
So that's the whole story. That's all you gotta tell?
You got to listen to my rap from bell to bell. Those babies had rabies and we was in Hades cause we moved with the harem of the Prince of Acheson.
So it's you and her bird in 1000 BC.
Buried to our necks in sand like a sea. By assaulting with a sword and a lock and a key.
Whew, they're in deep, will they ever get free?
So it's me and her bird in 1000 BC. Praying to the gods.
And what do you see?
A man with the halo and a nasty decree. I'll save you.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up, please. It would be one thing if this music was good, but jokes aside, it's not. This sucks. It's really bad. It's horrible. It's actually painful to listen to. It's fucking excruciating. It's terrible fucking music.
I nod to her birth, he nods to me. And when the magic is over, we ain't men, we Genie.
It would be one thing if it was good, and this kid and Shaq were just kind of like frolicking around in genie outfits, rapping. But it's not! It's really bad! So as Shaq is getting used to being in this world right now, he kind of starts to like it. People like his rap music, and a girl seems interested in him, so he goes on a date. But the kid really needs his help.
I'll be right back.
Get off the table.
Did nobody else in the restaurant see that happen? That was some serious shit that just happened right there. That was some Bruce Almighty shit. What? Did you not see that? So the film continues to try to have a plot where these mob guys are beating up the kid's real dad because they need this special tape that the dad has lost. So the kid decides to use his second wish on getting this tape, which he can then give to his dad, who's still a deadbeat. Like I said, this is like maybe the one aspect of this movie that semi-works. The fact that they attempted to have a real, truly depressing, sad domestic tale for this kid who's had a rough life. And while all of this depressing family shit is happening, Shaq decides to perform again, because that's what we all want to see.
If you think that's bad, here's my age. Square octogenarial.
Been there, done that, he's seen it all. From the river Nile to the hills on the pole.
So, like, the main bad guy of this movie is, like, the leader of these mob guys. And he eventually realizes that Shaq is a real genie and that the kid has one last wish. While this kid's life is in jeopardy and he's pushed down an elevator shaft... guess what Shaq is doing?
One snap of my fingers, get a scoop of Ben and Jerry. Living so rich, better watch my arterials. Don't get me down with those thoughts of ethereal. I know who I am.
And I guess what these mob guys are doing has something to do with the black market because of this line.
What are these?
Black market CDs.
What the fuck is a black market CD? Is it like a CD-ROM that you put in your computer and then you have access to the black market?
Be a good genie and get into the box.
I don't understand.
You've been called.
But now Shaq has an epic fight with all of these guys. He is fucking punching them left and right. And the best part of this scene is when he takes the main bad guy, bunches him up into a fucking ball, and dunks him. I clapped. I clapped. I stood up and cheered, in fact. So Shaq finds the kid and he gets all depressed and he tries really hard to act and give a heartfelt speech to the kid. And of course, the kid is resurrected by Shaq's super speech. And remember how I said that that other part was only the second craziest thing? Well, we're about to get into the number one craziest thing.
What was that? What's happening?
I don't know. This has never happened before.
Shaq becomes Mega Shaq. And then I think he becomes God.
I'm Jin, and I'm free.
No. Kazaam, you can't.
You don't need me anymore.
Don't go.
In our hearts, we're all Jin, and we're all free.
Kazaam, you can't. Don't leave me.
The power is in your heart.
And it seems to suggest that Shaq died. Like he's gone now and the kid is okay with living now with the new guy because he's a firefighter and he just rescued the kid. But then he's like, I wish I had a hot chocolate. And a hot chocolate just appears.
Speaking of which, I could show you a nice hot cup of chocolate.
And he's like, oh shit. And he's looking around. And we're looking around because it's the end of the movie. And there he is. It's Shaq. He's still alive. He's how is he? What happened? I don't know what just happened, actually. That's Kazaam. So.
What's happening to you?
I don't know. I feel free.
Guys, thank you so much for watching yet another Hilariocity. Kazaam is truthfully a very nostalgic and weird ass movie. It's obviously just a movie made for Shaq to market rap to people because he wanted to have a rap career. That didn't really work out, I don't think.
Tell me, you booked in? You just come here to scare the hell out of us. Thank you.
Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.